So I'm going to hand it over to Kristin, who has been working in this space for how many years now? A few. And she's going to talk to you a little bit about the food side of things, so not the animal feed. So go to human aspect.
Yeah, so that was a great talk about how we can use hemp seed to feed animals. So, as Marguerite mentioned, I'm going to talk how we can use the hemp seed to feed people. Um, so we all know hemp is an amazing crop with a lot of applications in many different industries. So for this talk, I'm just going to focus on what we can do with the hemp seed itself. So in industrial hemp, the seeds are comprised of the hearts, hulls, which can produce oil and the cake. And then my question is, as far as use in the food industry, how can we use these products in the food industry to add value for producers and food companies using hemp seeds? So the hemp seeds can be fractionated in multiple different ways to create a lot of different products. The hemp seeds can be simply milled into hemp flour, and this product generally contains about 25 to 30% fat. You can press the oil out and then produce the hemp seed cake from the remains, and that's going to be a lower fat product, which will contain a lot of protein. You can further do solvent extraction on this product and obtain more oil, which will end up with the final hemp seed meal with less than 1% fat. If you dehull the seeds, you can get the fractions of the heart and hemp hulls. So the hearts will be the high protein, high fat fraction, where the hulls will be rich in dietary fiber. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. So all of these ingredients can be sold to consumers. Hemp seed oil can be sold in the grocery store. There's products, different kind of hemp protein powders that are sold on the market, but they can also be used by food manufacturers as ingredients in a wide range of different kind of products to produce fortified food products, protein isolates and concentrates, which have applications in different kind of plant-based meat arenas. And then also as we can formulate foods for plant-based meat and plant-based dairy by further processing and delving into that space, which is highly interest these days with people looking toward finding more nutritional foods or reducing some of their animal intakes. So if we go a little overview of the hemp grain itself, we can see the inside of the hemp grain. We have the whole seed, which contains the oil and the meal or the cake. And then inside is the hemp heart, which I mentioned has the protein and oil, and the hull, which contains the dietary fiber. So different varieties we've seen have kind of a different morphological characteristic, which we could do some research into how these varieties perform in dehulling processes and stuff to optimize the separation of these two components. Oh, it's a little fast there. So right now, currently, the two main fractions of the hemp grain that's getting a lot of attention are the lipids and the proteins. So the lipids are really important in the oil production, and hemp oil is actually quite very healthy. So it's a plant-based oil, which is a lot of people find to be more healthy than some animal fats. However, it's kind of unique among some of the plant-based oils where it's rich in omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. So this is really beneficial for heart health. So this can be a plant-based source of omega fatty acids for supplement production. And then there's a lot of research in this area. I'm not going to go too deeply into it, but it's a lot of focus on this area. The next thing is proteins. So hemp is very high in the protein, and uniquely, the hemp is also having the adequate amount of essential amino acids. Does everybody here know what essential amino acids are? Yeah, a lot of people do. So yeah, so essential amino acids basically are just the amino acids. So amino acids are what make up the protein in the plants and in animals. And the essential amino acids are the ones we need to consume through our diet as people. So they're the ones that our body cannot make for itself. So most plants don't have all of the essential amino acids. So if you have wheat or corn or beans, you usually need to combine those with other sources of protein to meet all of your amino acid needs for your diet. But hemp and soybeans are pretty much the only two plant protein sources that are commonly known that have all the essential amino acids. So they make up a complete protein. So hemp can be a very valuable protein for the plant protein market. Also, the hemp protein has been found to have excellent digestibility. So if you eat a lot of protein from plants or animals, it doesn't matter if you eat it if you can't digest it and use it. So it's important to consider the digestibility. Also, it has some unique functional properties because of the structure. And then another thing is part of the hemp grain is the carbohydrates. There's a lot less research in this area. Shania and I are trying to work on this more because we feel like this part has been left behind a little bit and there's some unique opportunities we can gain and extract some more value from some part of the hemp grain. The dietary fiber comes from the cell wall components, which are the components that make up all the cells in the grain. And these are comprised of cellulose and xylans and arabinogalactans. But there's a lot more research that needs to be done on how this can be utilized. Because we need to know about the composition and solubility to make sure that they have the health benefits that humans need for our diet, and how we can develop new functional fibers and nutritional ingredients from the dietary fibers found in hemp grain. There's also a lot of phytochemical and antioxidant properties that are beneficial with hemp grain. I think we'll have some talks about this later, hopefully. Somebody might cover this more, but there's a lot of different compounds found in the grain. You can kind of see this with the hemp grain's dark green color, that it's likely that there's a lot of different kind of phytochemicals that can be beneficial, and these can be extracted to make different kind of supplements. We can use them in different kind of food additives to take this food as medicine approach to people's diets. So we've been working with Marguerite to work on some grain quality and composition work to see which kind of varieties might be suited for growing in Indiana, so we can produce the best grain possible that people are going to want to buy and utilize for their food products. So why are we doing this evaluation of the hemp grain and quality and composition? Oh, this is a little touchy. So we want to make sure the performance and grain quality from different varieties are going to meet everyone's needs. So we want to provide this research-based information for growers, and we want to ensure that the cultivars that are chosen have availability and commonality to produce quality that's consistent, and we don't have people having all of a sudden, oh, my grain is not meeting my expectations. It's not matching the standards that I need to produce my food. So here's a little overview of the three main components of the grain composition that we measured for several different varieties over a couple of different years. The first varieties, Amesado, Grandi, Catani, and Piccolo, and CFX2 were grown in 2021, and the other ones were grown in 2022. So far, we're continuing work on this. We need to make sure that we are able to analyze the same varieties from year to year, so we can see if some of these differences are actually from environmental conditions on the different years, or if they are differences based on the genetics of the variety. But based on this work, we can see that it could be possible for growers to target different varieties to sell the grain based on their target market. If they want to sell the grain for oil, if they want to sell the grain for protein or fiber. And in this case, as far as the grain fiber, when I mention fiber, I'm specifically talking about dietary fiber, which is the fiber you want to consume in your diet, and not the fiber for producing rope or cloth or those kind of industrial applications. Also, we are working on measuring some of the phenolic compounds, which are bioactive compounds in the seed. So we see that there's high levels across all the varieties, and this can be very useful for producing highly beneficial dietary ingredients. So overall, we really are striving to target the varieties which are adapted to the growing regions. We are looking for applications for specific varieties that can increase their value. And then we are also on the non-food side looking into how we can use the phenolics for some active packaging applications or other applications. The phenolics might be useful in some antioxidant capacity in different kind of food packaging applications to keep your food fresher longer. Also, we are looking into how we can utilize the grain polymer extracts for different value-added applications. So going forward, we are also looking how we can better utilize the industrial hemp grain. So we want to produce these high value functional ingredients. So we don't want to just leave something of value behind in the process. We are looking into how we can modify the carbohydrates and proteins through chemical, physical, or enzymatic processes. This will be to increase their nutritional value, better improve the digestibility of the protein, improve the functionality of the fiber, and raise the amount of nutraceutical compounds in the hemp grain products. We're also looking to maintain the functional properties of these components so they can be used to add viscosity, stabilization, or for bulking agents in different kind of foods. We can make all the ingredients that they want, but if they don't provide the function that the food manufacturers are looking for, they're not going to be any good. So we all know we can include hemp in a lot of different products. It's being included in bakery products, pasta, salad dressing, snack bars, and there's a lot of different kind of new products on the market. These are just a selection I found. It's not a commercial for anything, but a couple of examples I found that seemed interesting. So there is some food industry interest in utilizing hemp seed and its components in different food products. We have been doing a project producing some hemp seed protein ingredients for some plant-based meat products. So we wanted to produce high fiber protein ingredients so everyone can get enough protein and fiber in their diet through one product. So we have the Coperion extruder and Urschel dicer in our pilot plant in the food science department. This was donated by Coperion. And recently, I believe we have been approved for FDA use, so we can produce food on this and sell it and serve it to people. And that's really exciting. This study I'm going to talk about quickly. We weren't able to produce, we're just in the initial phases. So we used the hemp cake, which we treated with some enzymes to modify the dietary fiber to make it more functional for the diet. We extruded it and then did some cooking. We produced a meatball-like product. You can see here we have some color issues we need to work through. But the one benefit of this is we did see a significant increase in the soluble dietary fiber, which has a lot of benefits in your diet. So we were able to successfully do that. We were also see that the enzymes did not always decrease the protein digestibility, which is of concern for this ingredient. And then we can target different enzymes to produce products with different textural aspects. So if we want to make something a more chewy meat product, something more like a chicken breast, or minced type products like ground beef analogs, we can target the different enzymes to adjust the texture of those products. And then in the cooked products, we also found some variation after cooking based on which type of enzymes we used. So overall, to conclude quickly, this meat analog product, we found it to be pretty nutritionally sound, and we are hoping it will add some value to an existing byproduct and promote the sustainability in food production, supporting the hemp industry. So far, the enzyme treatments need to be optimized to increase the dietary fiber solubilization, but we were able to make good progress in this area so far, and we need to continue to work on the cold extrusion processing to make different textures of products that can be used for meat alternatives. So we will wrap it up. If anyone has a quick question, I can answer.
Thanks, Kristin. I actually had a question. How did the meatball taste? Did you guys try it?
So we didn't try it. As far as I know, we didn't try it because the extruder in the pilot plant was still kind of under construction. It was like we were getting it ready. So we were able to collaborate with the agriculture and biological engineering department. They have a cold extrusion system in ABE. So we were extruding our products there, and that one is not food safe.
Okay.
So we didn't, as far as I know, no one tried it. But there's some work to do to probably make it taste better and make a better texture. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a very, very nice talk. I saw that on your slide, you mentioned that, pet companion animal food product is also one of the item. I was wondering, are you, familiar with any like product development in that sector about, a new product for hemp related, companion food products?
Yes, pet food is not necessarily my area, but it is kind of a hot area in food science. There's been a lot of interest in that. A lot of people with pets are really interested in making sure their pet food is really healthy for their pets, making sure their pets live a long time, right? And I found some work on it. I don't know a lot of details about that right now, though, because
there is also a trend like plant-based pet companion animal diet. So people are developing plant-based ingredients.
Like the primary.
Thank you.